back to the Community Podcast. This is season 4 and everything. As you know, we're here in our new studio here, Big Condo Online. We got a nice new company accoutrements. Please like and subscribe and everything. And I've already started my series of interviews, and I've been interviewing my man Roz Congo as we've gone down the history of comic books and everything. But now that Discovering season 2 has begun, I decided to grab both of these men and have them here on my podcast to actually kind of like get to the answers that I've been trying to get from them because they have such a wealth of knowledge. So, once again, I'm Chase Johnson Lynch, and so I would like to welcome both Roz Congo.
Give thanks, Roz Congo here. Really a pleasure to be here in Community Podcast, Season 4.
Yeah,
Let's walk through the door for sure.
Thank you. And, of course, we have our man, James Diboe, who is the host of Discovering, one of our favorite shows. What's up, James?
How you doing? Chase, great to be back on Big Condo Online again.
Well,
pleasure to be back.
Listen, I got to tell you, James, I mean, as one of the producers here at Big Condo Online, we did an experiment and tried to launch about 9 different shows at once to create an actual online network. And I would have to say, in looking at it, the Discovering with James Diboe is one of the most watched programs on our network.
Absolutely, brother.
Yeah,
because it's important to be diverse, but remember, don't get too diverse. You might die worse.
Yeah.
Yes, but
we'll put it this way.
I just wanted to.
Well, from the beginning anyway, it was the reviews were building up. I was getting a lot of likes on there, and it was more of a unique product.
Yeah, because basically, for those who don't know, we're based in Liverpool, and Liverpool. A lot of people say home of the Beatles, but it's also home of kind of like the slavery ships, aren't they, gentlemen?
Definitely.
A lot more bigger picture than George and John.
Yeah,
and the rest of those dudes.
But it's also a town that, within that, even though they came up with Slavery Remembrance Day, that they've been celebrating, they haven't really kind of focused in on Black studies, which they are now. Saying that they're looking forward to doing. So I really think that is part of one of the reasons why people are intrigued by Discovering, because not just because of the travels that you, the places you've been, and you obviously you're talking about Africa and different things that people are not aware because there's no kind of education around it.
There's no platform.
But it's just that you have a sincere love and passion around it, and you're bringing guests who also have the self-same passion.
Yeah.
Hence why we've seen Roz here a couple of times.
I'd just like to say as well, I had no compunction to jump on that train from Houston, come here, go into a hotel, 3 days, spent a nice price, come here. I ain't complaining because it's a pleasure.
Yeah, well,
it's a treasure.
Yeah,
so we have to weigh and measure. All right, at your leisure.
If you're going to keep rhyming, I'm going to have Joe play some music.
Joe will
hit
kill
us
me.
with a sample because Joe is a producer.
Joe will kill me in a sound class.
Don't do it, Joe.
Don't do it, Joe.
So we have a lot of like-minded people.
Yeah, so a lot of like-minded people who find it fascinating and everything. And basically also would like to say that if you want to find out more, as we often try to say, since James doesn't say it for himself, is that he has a CIC called Cultural Solutions.
Culturolution,
and everything, which can be found on all the platforms and stuff
right.
like that. And actually, we had Jess did a special where we did a slideshow special of a lot of the places you had visited. I'm sorry, it was over an hour, but we missed some places.
Well, I very anticipated the slideshow. I've been waiting to do this for over the year now. And I didn't get every country on there, but we got a lot of places. We showed structures, indigenous peoples around the world, and a lot of history to go with it. That was definitely.
But reason why I mentioned it is because please follow James on the social media platforms, because now you're actually putting some of those pictures out onto not just your pages but Culturolutions and everything like that. So please continue to find it, because I find them fascinating when I see some of the different structures. But basically, so that was kind of like an overview, but what I've often said, because I'm one of the producers here, and I've always said, talk about this, talk about that. So basically, I have some questions.
That's a wonderful,
Okay.
just wonderful introduction, by the way. Honestly, I can see you've been doing this for a long time. It
Oh,
comes
well.
natural.
Oh, well,
You know what I mean?
thank you, Ross.
You're
Thank you,
welcome,
thank you. So, when I had to educate myself, because I'm a dumb American, I could say it because I was educated in America, and obviously they did not want me to know everything. So part of the things that's been my fascination in this past year is discovering several different things. So one of the things I discovered, which I wanted to ask you gentlemen about, is Mali,
Mm-hmm.
Mali.
right, which is in West Africa.
Yeah.
Now, what it is that like we people just it's Africa, it's that place, you know what I mean? They don't break it down, you know. In the old maps, it was like Lower Sudan and all of this other kind of stuff. And you've often mentioned this and everything. We even actually just did a little short take on the Guinea coin coming from Guinea, and everything. But Mali is not talked about enough.
Oh, definitely. Well, funny enough, you say that. You have Mansa Musa, obviously.
Well, this is why.
This is like the richest man ever. You know, there's even to this day, you know. Now, we're dealing with the Dogon also, the Dogon tribe. Now, their astronomical knowledge goes back to at least 3,200 BC, which does not get touched
Now, wait.
upon.
Don't skim over that. 3,000
200 BC.
before Christ.
Exactly. So now a lot of the Dogon claim the connection with Kemet. And obviously, when
Which
we
a
say
lot of people know when they study Egypt, Khemet, right?
yeah, well, it's the same as what was going on in Egypt, because other Africans would have brought their knowledge to Egypt, Kemet. And if you want to go deep into the word Kemet, that is actually a common word where the agriculture, they called it the lands that the proper name was Tarseti.
Tarseti.
Yeah, and that weren't just Egypt. That would be covering Sudan, Ethiopia. Tarseti was like the longer land. And they also had words like Tarmeri, all these Tar names in there.
Well, can I ask you, you know, Kemet, because a lot of the depiction of the Egyptian gods, and me and Roz talked about this a little bit when we talked about comic books, because we talked about personages, you know, personifications. So a lot of the Egyptian gods had or were drawn with animal heads.
Okay.
So it wasn't Kemet like a horse head?
Well, Kemet means the Blacklands.
Yeah.
Blacklands.
Yeah.
Soil.
But didn't it have an animal personage?
Expression.
Kemet?
An expression.
I think, you know, like if you get really deep down in antiquity, you know, like you have like the like hippopotamus, pregnant hippopotamus, as like the mother of earth.
Yeah.
And obviously she's carrying, you know, the life force.
Yeah.
So there's many zodiacs. Like the modern zodiac that we have now came from earlier zodiacs.
Wow, I can believe that.
And you look at like the Chinese zodiac year and things like that. Very similar to the one in ancient Kemet as well.
Yeah,
Slight differentiation on the actual animal itself.
Okay.
But this is zoo types. You know, when you start going right down into history,
I mean,
into zoo types.
Yeah, but I was really, I mean, because it just seemed like I could have sworn it had a like, you know, because, you know, like Toth and Harness, they had animal heads, and I could have sworn Kemet had an animal head. That's why I was asking. But you know, that's cool.
Yeah.
So let's go back to Mali for a quick second, because you mentioned Mansa Musa being the richest man in the world.
Yeah.
Right, and because a lot of the gold came from that southern western part of Africa.
Yeah.
Which is why you get the Guinea coin and all of that.
Yeah. That's it.
But what a lot of people don't know, because they don't talk about, they haven't been educated on, is that, and this is funny, is that the, what do you call them, Malians or people from Mali?
The Dogon people and
Malians. Yeah.
And people, Timbuktu was a great seat of learning, you know?
Yeah, but what I was trying to say was that they were seafarers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So where we grow up in supposed history and study, it's like the Africans all brought over here in the nitty gritty of ships, right? And that was the only way they could come. But then people, wait, hold on, gentlemen. People just didn't accept
Yeah.
that Africans
It
actually
wasn't-
knew how
It
to...
wasn't that they didn't accept it. What it was, and please come in.
Yeah.
What it was a contrived attempt
Yeah.
to minimize Africa
Exactly,
and
bro,
say
that's
that they
what I'm-
weren't seafarers. I mean, how can you build a pyramid using 2.5 million stones? Right?
I don't know, bro.
That weigh over 2 tons or whatever.
I
And you're
don't
building
know.
these things
Aliens?
and
I don't know, bro.
and then you can't build a boat and go over this. So it doesn't
I
make
don't
no
know.
sense.
I don't know, bro.
Well,
But
you
this
know-
is my point. I just want to... So tell me about the seafarers of
Okay,
Mali.
so with the seafarers now, it was Mansa Musa's brother, Abba Bukari, who supposedly sailed to the Americas.
And disappeared.
Yeah, that's a
Or may
version
not
of
have
it.
come back, not disappeared, but
Yeah.
just stayed there.
Now,
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Now-
Yeah.
now we
To
have-
them, he disappeared.
so what we've got to do also is when we matching the dates and science. Now we're dealing with the 1300s, about 13 something, where Mansa Musa.
1300 what?
AD.
AD.
Sorry, yeah. Now with the Olmec heads, they're about 1500 BC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Mayan calendar goes back to 3000 BC, but that's impossible. It could be the Mayans because the Mayans are AD people. So how did you do the calculations if you wasn't there?
I have not a clue.
So only because I've studied these dates on this.
Absolutely.
So when the time of Mansa Musa, his brothers going over there, there's an old legend myth, but it's a true myth. The old legend myth is that our ancestors sailed across these oceans possibly 2,000 years, because there's about 4 to 5 migrations of blacks going to the Americas. So one of them would be the ancient Nile Valley connection. The other one would be West Africans going back about the time of Christ, well, what we call Christ. And then obviously it could be a little bit before. Then you'd have black Polynesians, Melanesians going across the Pacific. So there's many different directions black people got to the Americas. But on the topic of Mali, that's the connection where there's one time the Sahara Desert was not there. And Africa,
Yes, it was supposedly
lake.
underwater.
A green belt.
Yeah.
Just it's very important what James is saying, right? And it's a very important question that you've asked because one, we've debunked the lies that Africans weren't seafarers.
Yeah.
Africans were seafarers.
Exactly.
Right?
They took more than one trip.
Absolutely. And then we've also debunked the myth, right? Or lie was a better word, that after there was an African presence in the Americas thousands of years before
Exactly.
Columbus,
I was going to
and
get to
even,
that.
even you know the recent waves. So
yeah.
it's very important questions. and
So
answers coming
yeah,
up.
because like the thing about it is that if you go back to the Tower of Babel story, right? Supposedly, language was spread out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
To different areas, so different people, went like to the cold regions, or to the Anglo-Saxons, or to the hot regions, to change their skin tones, right? and stuff. But so the same could be said for the Malian seafarers, in a sense where, so we're looking at Indians, or we're looking at the people in what am I trying to say? South America,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The Caribbean,
Yeah.
right? Haiti, right? What I'm trying to say is they initially could have came from somewhere, such as from these seafarers, because
Yeah.
the story I read about it is he didn't just leave in one ship.
Of
Took like
course.
about
Many
3
ships,
ships.
Many voyages.
Well, no, I meant when he left.
Yeah, yeah.
He left
taken
in
a
many.
crew- he's
He
taken
had
a
like
crew.
he had like about 3 ships. This guy was rich. It's like he took a town with him.
Yeah.
And then they all spiraled out to the world
and
that was
absolutely,
undiscovered.
Yeah.
And then
Well, let's stick a pin there. When we say undiscovered, sometimes I'm
go
not
ahead,
correcting
okay.
you.
Oh,
When we say undiscovered, it's almost like that's the European mindset. I'm not
Yeah.
accusing
Oh,
you of
no,
holding
no,
that,
yeah.
because these people had a knowledge of the world already. Remember, when we
Yeah,
looked, they had a
yeah.
knowledge of the world. They knew where their peeps were, and they knew the similarities. So
they had cartographers
it's not
and
like,
map makers.
Yeah, it's
didn't
not
they?
like they're going out there thinking, "Oh, we don't know where we're going."
Oh, no.
They know exactly where they're going, and they know who's on the other end.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
No, because they could have been there before.
Absolutely.
But what I'm trying to say is that their children, their descendants,
Yeah,
could have
yeah.
created
Okay.
all of those different.
Absolutely.
Now see the
And
Olmecs.
I'm not correcting you at all. You know,
Yeah.
and basically, they'll just stick a pin,
Yeah.
right? So basically, it's like what you're saying is when these people first, like Europeans first, went over to the Americas. Like, and we have all this story of Red Indian. Well, there was a lot of Black Indians there
Well,
too.
well, yeah. Well, what is red?
I know. Well, you're red.
So see
In
the
Liverpool,
I am, because I'm Indian.
Liverpool, bro. In Liverpool. I was one of the darker ones in Liverpool.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
And then
of
when I got
course.
to London, it's
Yeah.
like, that red's red.
Yeah. No. Yo,
Yeah,
bro,
yeah.
you're right. You're right when you're right.
to see the Olmecs, yeah, for example.
Yeah.
I've looked at different stories of it. People said, who are the Olmecs? Are these indigenous black peoples of America, or are the people from Africa? Now, I'm going to deal with a story what I've not really talked upon. Okay. So supposedly now the Olmecs, yeah, are indigenous black peoples of the Americas. They could have been there 40,000 years. They could have been. We don't have an exact date. We have Lucia in Brazil, like one of the oldest skeletal remains.
Yeah.
But now some believe that these are indigenous Africans. But when West Africans and Nile Valleys sailed to the Americas, these indigenous black people were so fascinated with the Africans, with the knowledge and what they brought with them, that they build these huge heads depicting who these Africans were.
Yeah.
And I can believe that because I look at in Asia, I see the same thing with the Bayon temples in Cambodia.
Yeah. No.
And then you can go to other parts of, like you said, South America also. There's stuff there in Peru. As a matter of fact, there's actually Carthaginian money that was found in Peru.
Yeah.
And because there's
Well,
a lot of disruptions and stuff. And
So when you say Carthaginian, Carthage, the city of Carthage,
Yeah.
was one of those first black kingdoms where supposedly they found signs
Yes.
Yeah.
that they actually created, like Leonardo da Vinci, they created wings.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, not wings for a plane, but wings for a man. You know, because they
And
Yeah.
you know that's
Giant
where
fly.
that's where the
not that they could fly, just that they had art.
James, that's
to
why
depict
we
that.
call ironmongers blacksmiths, because the reality
one.
is within the name.
Yes.
Blacksmith.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
created from there, the ironmongers, the gold, the silver, all the precious metals, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Ancient America, I mean, like, I don't even like to use that name. There's many different names, like, I don't even want to give it a title, but the New World anyway. And it's being kept like this is a secret place. There's even a point in time where when the Phoenicians, because Phoenicians went to Carthage, didn't they?
Yeah.
So when we deal with Hannibal, now there's different versions of Hannibal. Hannibal is a black man. You see him on a coin. I posted that on my story yesterday. And the deal with Phoenicians, like when they went to Carthage, there was already people there in North Africa.
Yeah.
Because they'd refer to like, well, the Phoenicians went there and colonized, and that was it. But
Right.
so when you see the Carthaginians, they would be the grandsons and daughters of the Phoenicians and the indigenous Africans.
Like
Yeah.
a mix. You're
A
talking,
mixture,
Yeah.
You
That
understand?
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I want to also touch on another thing that I heard Roz talk about is like when a lot of people don't, they don't know, they don't think about, was when the land masses that became the continents used to be one mass.
Pangea originally.
Okay, I was going to ask you that. Okay. Pangea. So we always look at America as America, but it's not because, America actually was named after Amerigo Vespucci, who was the map maker, right? But
That's one version.
One version.
But there's another version.
well, it was Amerigo Vespucci. though.
America is an Egyptian word.
What is that?
Mary is the sea. Ka is the car and the bar, right? Basically, the car is the physical body, the bar is the spirit, and the spirit was envisaged as your face, but with a bird's body.
All right,
Like
and
a
then
navigator.
so who would have named that?
Huh? What I'm
would've-
saying to you is that the founding fathers who didn't find anything, they stole it.
Yeah,
The founding fathers were all Freemasons. Freemasonry is an African tradition. I'm not saying Freemasonry is good or bad. I could give you a knife and you cut an apple in half and give it to me, or you could stab out my heart, so don't blame the knife.
Yeah.
So these guys were so-called founding fathers. They were Freemasons, and they knew exactly where the knowledge came from. That's why they used that's why the pyramid is on the dollar bill. That's why, like you see with the unfinished, the plan is on the Great Seal of the United States.
Yeah.
Right, you've got the bird, haven't you? The eagle.
Yeah.
On one claw, right, you've got food, sheets of wheat, right, and on the other claw, you've got arrows. This is what George
Yeah.
Bush Jr. was referring when he
Yeah.
said, "You're either with us or against us. So if you're with us, you get food, and if you're against us, you're getting the arrow. So what I'm saying to you is, there's a secret brotherhood, if you want to call it that.
All
You
right,
know
we're not
exactly.
going down the road of
Well,
the Illuminati.
No, I'm not going into that, because Illuminati it just means enlightened. Okay,
I know, but
so what I'm saying is this: is that those that run the world know exactly about the world, and they're hiding the knowledge from us. And we go to school and get educated, but actually we get indoctrinated with a lot of smallness, right? We know that, but these people know, so they've left the clues, and it's there on the dollar bill. Even the owl of Molech is there hiding behind the one, so the signs are there.
Yeah, okay.
We'll see the
this
car.
brother knows too much. Right, so can we talk about Pangea first?
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
Just one quick thing when Raz said about the car, CA, Africa. Now, some people believe Africa,
America, Africa.
So some people say the car came from the Latin, the Roman, and Afri. It was the African. What is a word in Africa? Afri, and then car is Latin. So some people say, well, we're in Africa named after Scipio Africanus.
I did not know that one. But.
Yeah, well, see, Rav Nochel Rashidi dismisses that.
Yeah,
he dismisses it. But what it is like the car and Afri. So we're going to our free land.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
And the birthplace in Egypt where you were born was known as Afruka. That was the place of birth.
Okay.
You know what I mean, bro? But there's many versions, you know. I'm not claiming. I'm just saying, let's look at all.
Hey,
let's throw them all on the table.
I just want people to wait. I just want people to know.
Yeah.
We're
I'm discovering something
CIS
new.
people, you know.
All right, I'm
We're
just
crime
saying.
scene investigators historically.
All right, listen. I'm just saying I'm discovering something new.
Nice one, bro.
No. All right. So, look, bro. Pangea.
Okay, Pangea.
What do you know of Pangea?
Well, it's the oldest. It's the one continent, the one landmass that, supposedly.
And it was a natural disaster. Was it the Ice Age or whatever that split
There's
them
been
apart?
many ice ages.
Yeah, every 50,000 years or 100,000 years is different dates you see.
So at what point did we get our continents? I'm asking
Okay.
you.
When we're dealing
it wasn't
with-
no longer Pangea.
We're actually going into the millions of years and that, and
Really?
it actually broke off millions of years.
How would they? Where would they discover the name from? I mean, would.
Here's a funny thing.
ago?
Here's a funny thing, right?
I'd like to
the
add
date,
one, James.
the date of humanity, first of all, right? So when they say the oldest species, Lucy, which is like 2 point something
5
million
million,
years,
yeah.
So maybe humanity is really older than that. It could be. I'm not challenging
Well,
it.
obviously,
Yeah.
there is supposed to be this whole thing that, like, they needed humanity to be at this point where they could say because of the birth of Christ or the Big Bang or whatever, but it's actually older. And if it was older, then they would have to actually realize.
Me personally, I just
Yeah,
give my little view on it. I think humanity goes back to when the land's all one. That's just my opinion. Some scientists don't believe that.
Well, there's some
you know.
there's some crazy pictures depicting that, like, it wasn't just a landmass; it was a landmass with something underneath it.
Well, now you're getting deep now. Now you're getting
All right.
into
Well,
the
I wasn't trying to get that deep.
Now you
but-
get listen, deep literally, metaphorically, because there's
I love
many
this guy.
and this is many ancient traditions talk about these people. Even like the Dogon talk about people. The San talk about people who live in the earth, right? The San in South Africa, those parts, right, in the Karoo Desert, right?
Yeah.
They talk about small people. There's like grey type people, blue type people,
Greys.
and they live in the bowels of the earth, and they come up at night. And like people will say, "Oh, that's foolishness," but where did the stories of leprechauns and all these things come from? And when we look at leprechauns and we look at pygmies and we look at these people of the earth, everything kind of comes together. You know what I mean, brother?
Yeah. Well, I don't want to make this one of those like conspiracy shows. I was trying to stay into the fact. The fact is, like, what is the kind of like oldest written identity that goes to Pangea? Is it only the artwork, or is there something that people can actually go to find out?
I've never
more
seen
information?
artwork of Pangea. I mean, to
Well,
me,
I have to show you. All you have to do is just type it in on Google.
No, I'm talking about in the world, like in a monastery or whatever. I'm not talking about an artist idea. What I'm saying is, I don't know if Pangea is real. It may be, it may not be. I don't know. Right? I'm just looking at the evidence.
Okay,
right,
no.
for and against,
We
right?
don't know this
Right?
truth.
But like James says, humanity right? In the timelines of everything we've been given, we need to revise them because there's evidence of fossils being found, right?
Yeah.
Of like extinct animals, right?
Yeah.
Dinosaurs even.
Yeah.
Where there's a human footprint there as well. Not a human
I don't know
footprint.
about that.
I'm telling you, brother. I'm
Okay.
telling you, when we say we don't
You
know
trying to
about
say
that,
dinosaurs and man at the same
what I'm
era
saying is
of time?
it's
Because
what-
that's not
it's what you
possible,
call,
really.
It's what you call dinosaurs, isn't it? Because these people talk about dragons. If George killed the dragon, what was it? What was the dragon? I don't know, brother. What you're saying time? I don't even know if the dinosaurs ever existed. I wasn't
Well, this
there.
is what I'm saying. You just
know what I
said
mean? Of course, you gotta keep an
you just
open
mentioned
mind.
the dinosaur footprint. That's all I'm trying
No,
to
I'm
say.
just saying that like it was a dinosaur or an unknown. Because let's be honest, animals are going extinct all the time. So
This is indeed
you know
true.
what I mean? This is a reality.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that the timeline of most things we have to revise,
Yeah.
right?
Right. So, I mean, I just want to. I
So
only have time
Pangea,
for one. Yeah.
very quickly, Pangea, right? I don't know if
Yeah,
it was real.
that's
I
fair.
don't know if it came from that and it's going to slow every time there's earthquakes and it goes back to that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm open to it. I'm
Yeah.
open to
Yeah.
it.
So I only pretty much only have probably time for one more question, and basically this is based upon like what you mentioned earlier about Noah's Ark.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Now we all know the story of Mount Arafat. Ararat.
Mount Ararat or something.
No, yeah, where supposedly the Ark
Mount
had
Ararat.
Arafat, I think.
No, Arafat.
Are
was
we
the
talking
Palestinian
Turkey?
dude.
In Turkey,
In
yeah.
Turkey, yeah.
Arafat was the Palestinian dude.
I apologize.
Mount
When he was
Araf.
a mountain.
Anyway.
Mount Araf.
Whatever,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
Ararat, Mount
Yeah.
Ararat.
Supposedly, they discovered the Ark in Turkey, right?
Is that right?
Yeah.
It was the Ark of Noah. How would they know that? What evidence?
Bruv, let me just give my question.
Sorry, bro.
You've heard it, right?
I have. Of course,
So,
we've all
okay,
heard
so
it.
let's just say there was some BBC
I've heard
documentary
it.
that probably speculated that it could
It's
be
speculation,
Okay,
innit?
all right.
Yeah.
My point was to
Yeah.
you, right? Is that when you described you was talking earlier about the Ark was actually a submarine.
No, I didn't say that. I said in the Sumerian text, which is older
Well,
than
okay,
the Old
that means you
Testament.
didn't say it. The
I
Sumerian
didn't
text
say.
said
Yeah,
it.
I just want people to know what I'm saying and what I'm not saying.
Yeah.
So in the Sumerian text, right, it describes it as a submarine. What
Okay,
we
but-
would say a submarine, and when it talks of the life essence, it's not talking about live behemoths, animals, and
Yeah.
two and two and two. It's talking about the life essence captured in like almost like a tube or a petri dish or something, which makes
right.
a lot of sense to me.
So I was just wondering if you knew any more about it, because when we've seen the depictions of the Ark, right, it fascinated me when you said that it was actually a submarine because of the fact that it could have been like a submersible because it rained 40 days and 40 nights. And wouldn't that be fascinating if that he didn't actually build a ship, but he built a
There's only
ship
one-
that could go underwater?
You see, there's only
That's
one
what I'm
thing
just trying
about
to
with the
say.
scientists, yeah, and they have this obsession with Samaria, where this is what, like, last time I got Renoka Rashidi on a Zoom, I had to pose this question to him. I knew myself, Africa is older than Samaria, but I just wanted confirmation of one of our great grandmaster scholars. And I said, Renoka Rashidi, I'm getting sick and tired of this Samaria versus Africa. Which one's older? And I said, could you please just let the audience know?
Yeah.
And now we broke it down. He said that we know Africa is older, and we know that by the matrilineal system that was brought to Samaria, and that's an African thing. Also, they say about the writing, people say, oh, Samaria's got the oldest writing. But in Africa, it's got writing all over the place in stone. Even Nigeria has old hieroglyphs
Even your tribal
Yeah,
marks,
yeah.
that predate Egypt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So this is the problem where this obsession, even in religion, talks about Samaria too much and Babylon as if this is the place of the great knowledge of the beginning, where it's not, you know, at the end of the day. But Africa is just an anti-African. Everywhere you go, there's something European-centric that's destroyed Africans' great civilizations.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
beginning...
Sumer was
You know?
established by Africans.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You know?
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Well, you
The
know,
Fertile Crescent.
Exactly.
Like, that's why all those rivers, you know, the First Nations that rose had to go by rivers.
Exactly.
Because the river has to flow. That's how you
Yeah.
grow your vegetables and everything. So you live near water.
Yeah.
Even the Indian Ocean, that was not the Indian Ocean. How can
Obviously.
India have an ocean?
And the whole continent of Africa doesn't have one.
Exactly.
Well, they had to give it a name. So,
The monsoon, and also here's another way how they got to India, and 6 months of the year you can go to, the winds blow the monsoons towards India, then 6 months it blows
Either
back.
way.
yeah.
So you've got, is it the
Trade winds. and
April
all
to
them things.
October, and then October to April,
Yeah,
around
yeah,
that
yeah,
time. And that's how the connection with Africans and India, when you have Buddha, you have Hinduism. Now, you know, remember I said last time, Buddhism coming 1,000 years after Hinduism.
Yeah.
Now, that would have been Africans bringing back what Hinduism, when it went into a caste system, because it was
Yeah.
invaded by the Aryans, the
Yeah.
Indo-Europeans at the time. You put a caste system in for their own benefit. And then the people in the south were still fighting for over 1,000 years. And then Buddhism rises from the south. Sort of like some of these other religions where it's a missionary religion.
Yeah.
But I don't see it as a religion, Buddhism.
No.
I don't.
Well, I gotta tell you, it's really hard stopping these guys from talking because their knowledge is like Aquarius. It just flows out like water, and they just can't stop themselves. You know, like tilt the urn back. So, first of all, I'm hoping you are enjoying this conversation as much as I am, because the wealth of knowledge that both of these men share, you know, I feel like I'm tag teamed. But it's been a real pleasure really talking to both of you guys.
James, I appreciate it.
Now I must
man.
say that, you know,
Thank you.
you know,
The pleasure.
this
I've
wasn't
guys on
about
there.
conspiracy theories. This
Yeah.
is supposed to be about gentlemen who have been educating themselves and are out to educate you, and then I might throw them a curveball. But so I don't know if the Noah's Ark is in Mount Arafat.
I
or
don't know.
Ararat.
I don't know. I'm
But I know I
open-minded.
saw that on some news show.
No problem. It's not about conspiracy theories. It's about
Yeah, I just want to make
conspiracy-
sure that I want to treat what you're saying
Absolutely.
seriously. That's
it's
all.
conspiracy facts and agendas,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
what we've been suffering from.
Well, no,
that's why I've
exactly.
still got. That's why I'm still walking around with a plantation name to my name, and I know better, but it's still
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. No,
You know
well,
what I mean?
It's
no,
good
no.
you made changes, Raz
I've
Congo.
made changes,
you know.
but my bank account's still under the
Yeah.
the
We know.
plantation psychosis.
We know how that is. So anyway, I would like to thank my guests here in the
Thank you so
community
much.
podcast, Roz Congo,
Yes, sir.
and our frequent presenter James Diboe.
Great to be back on.
Please. Oh, I'm sorry. You would just say great to be back, weren't you?
Yeah.
Cool. And please look out for Discovering Season 2. It's already starting off on an exciting route and everything. And I'm Chase Johnson Lynch, this community podcast. Please like and subscribe as you watch us as we return to Big Condo Online. So for now, I am out of here.
Thank you very much.